So we have seen 10 shlokas, which according to me forms section 1. In my booklet I have separated it as section 1. Kosha Atma Vairuddhyam. I have given a title like that. Kosha and Atma are Viruddha. They are not same. Viruddha Bhava. So I have just titled it like that. Kosha Atma Vairuddhyam. First 10 shlokas we have seen. So in these 10 shlokas, all that Vidyaranya Swami has done is he defined the koshas and he negated them. He said use logic, use common sense, use your anubhava, jivanasya anubhava. Vedanta and our rishis will not talk something which never exists. Some mathematical models and all they won't talk. They will talk what is in our anubhava. They will only relate to what we go through in our life. I have not brought one experience from anywhere. Entire Vedanta is like that. It is solid logic. They won't talk something and say you have to accept it. Indian scriptures never ask you to accept anything. That is why there is heavy discussion. There is counterpoint, disagree. No, I don't agree with what you say. Everything is part of our culture. So they don't want you to accept anything. They will have views. Views are on sound logic. All that. Now, before we go further, there are one or two things I have to first of all clarify. We have to understand the difference between Sukha and Ananda. We all think they are same. Sukha, Dukkha, Ananda. So we think Sukha and Ananda are same. This is a very, very important point I want you to understand. Ananda has no opposite. Sukha has an opposite called Dukkha. There is no opposite for Ananda. There is no Anananda. For the sake of language, you can say, I don't think there is anything opposite to Ananda. Whereas there is an opposite to Sukha. That is Dukkha. To understand the difference between the two. For Sukha, you need object. Without object, there is no Sukha. They are all different traces of Ananda, but we have to understand the differences between the two. Sukha always requires object. Without object, there is no Sukha. Some people like a particular food, that food is required for them to get Sukha. Okay? Some people like a particular person, we want that person to have Sukha. Meaning, I feel good. That is a lower level of Ananda. Okay? And if that which gives me happiness, because all these in English they will translate it into happiness. Sukha also they will call it as happiness. Ananda also they will call it as happiness. Moda is also called happiness. Pramoda is also, there are so many words in Sanskrit. Moda, Pramoda, Sukha, Ananda. For all of them in English we will simply translate it as happiness. That's not correct. If you want Sukha, you need an object. That means if you want Sukha, you need Indriya. You have to consume the object through Indriya. I like jamun. Jamun will give me Sukha. How? I will eat. There is a Indriya required. I eat and then, oh, I feel good, happy. So Sukha requires Indriya. Without Indriya, no Sukha. Because Sukha requires object. And the object has to be consumed. वो लेना है हमने, वो कंज्यूम करना है, इसलिए इंद्रिय आवश्यक है. इंद्रिय पदार्थ, इंद्रियार्थ और इंद्रिय दोनों भी आवश्यक है. बिना इंद्रियार्थ बिना इंद्रिय सुखा नहीं होगा. ये नष्ट होगा तो दुख होगा. So that is where the opposite is coming. Whereas Ananda is nothing to do with object. Ananda has nothing to do with indriyas. That's why joy is different from enjoy. To enjoy, you need object. You need indriya. Joy needs none of that. Sir, what you are saying, I don't understand. I don't agree. Every day you go through it 4 hours. In Sushupti, what organs did you, what Indriyas did you use? कुछ नहीं. सुषुप्ति अवस्था में कुछ नहीं हमने यूज किया. But we got Ananda, we didn't get joy, we actually got Ananda there. That you get without Indriyas is called Ananda. That you get with Indriya is called Sukha. This is, English you may call all of them happiness. That's not what it is. There are differences here. Okay. That is why in the 10th shloka he said, Antarmukha vritti. It is internal, no external world is required. In Sushupti, the whole world has been switched off. Whole world has been switched off. My brother is not there, my wife is not there, the world is not there, the room is not there, the bed is not there, nothing is there. I alone was there. That I, we do not know who that I is. We are going in that direction. In deep sleep, I alone was there. My Anandamaya was not there. My Vijnanamaya was not there. My Manomaya was not there. Pranamaya was not there. Annamaya was also not there. I alone was there. No Indriyas, nothing. That is called Ananda. What you get out of it is called Ananda. So Ananda and Sukha are not same. In English you translate it as happiness. It is not like that. So this subtle difference I want you to understand. Ananda is different from Sukha. That is what it is. So let us see what has happened now. I told you the 5 are only gadgets for you. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya are only gadgets. Sir, what do you mean? What do we do with those gadgets? So I will tell you what are these 5 gadgets, what are we using it for. Some has come through the shlokas, some has not come. So I will list it now. वो पूरा लिस्ट मैं दे दूंगा. प्रत्येक कोश का क्या उपयोग है, वो गैजेट का क्या उपयोग है, we will list it down. Annamaya. Annamaya is what is called Karya Rupa. It is actually in the process of doing things. It's only Karya Rupa, nothing else. Right? It's only Karya Rupa. It is Annamaya, you need only these gadgets only to do, engage in some activity. Talking, lifting something and putting here, shouting at someone, all that kind, so many things that we do. So it is Karya Rupa. Annamaya is Karya Rupa. Then comes Pranamaya. Pranamaya is Shakti Rupa. It only blows energy for you. What else it is doing? It blows only energy for you. That's all. That gadget only brings energy. Hai na? So we can call it as Shakti Rupa. The Pranamaya is Shakti Rupa. Then Manomaya is Karana Kartrupyam. We just now saw the shloka. Manomaya is only an instrument which makes the other fellow do the work. Just now we saw in shloka 8, 9 we saw. So Manomaya is an instrument, Karana Rupa. Whereas Annamaya is Karya Rupa. It does. This fellow is the instrument. For example, this fan is an instrument. The Karya is air which is being blown. That's a Karya. So the Annamaya does the Karya, but the instrument is the Manas. Manas is pushing it. Similarly, the fan is the instrument. The Karya is the air which is blowing. The electricity is the Pranamaya here. Shakti Rupa is electricity. That energizes the motor. Na? So motor starts running. You can take an equivalent example here in all that. Okay? Then Vijnanamaya, which is the Kartrutva Rupa. Kartru Rupa. Because that is the one which I need to put on the switch. Once I put on the switch, this instrument will be, electricity will pass, the instrument will be asked to rotate, it will blow the air. So the Vijnanamaya is Kartrutva Karanatva Abhyam, 9th shloka or somewhere you will find that. That is the Manomaya and the Vijnanamaya. Then you have the Anandamaya, which is the gadget for Bhoktrutva. Bhoktru Rupa, it is only enjoyer. You need a gadget to enjoy also, na? So that gadget which helps you to enjoy is Anandamaya, not Ananda, Anandamaya. It is just a gadget. So what happens? Karya Rupa, Shakti Rupa, Karana Rupa, Kartru Rupa and Bhoktru Rupa. Enjoyer. So God has given us these 5 instruments for us. There is somebody who is going to use all these 5. You don't associate yourself with one of the instruments. These are only instruments. Each one, as I told you, there is somebody who has to enjoy the air. There is somebody who is sitting and then benefiting from the cool air coming from the fan. That fellow is different from all these. You have electricity, which is pranamaya. You have the air which is coming out, which is the annamaya. You have the instrument called fan, which is the manomaya. You have the ability to switch on with a remote or something, that is the vijnanamaya. And then there is a enjoyment portion of it. There is somebody who is enjoying all that. I mean, somebody who is actually receiving all that, who is actually looking at all these or whatever, depending upon the context that we are talking. That fellow, we are still not gone there. इतना दूर हमने गया है. ये सब हमारा कारण है, केवल instruments है. We are not any of those. There are some nice gadgets. After all, if you do something worthwhile, you need some good gadgets. So Bhagavan has in his Srishti created these nice gadgets for us. And so, chalo yaar, these are all the gadgets. Get out in the world and do whatever you want to do. He never gave operations manual for any of them. पूरा एक मेगा गैजेट दे दिया, उसका operations manual नहीं है. So Rishis and Vedas are writing the operations manual now, which we are reading now a little bit. कैसा इसका उपयोग करना है, इसका क्या तात्पर्य है, ये यूज ऐसा करेंगे तो क्या होगा, दूसरी बात हम करेंगे तो कैसा होगा. All these we need to know now. That nobody teaches anywhere in the world. Only our scriptures teach. Only our rishis have thought about this problem. So all these are we are creating slowly the operations. So far what you have done, you have said there is this knob which you can use for increase the volume. There is this knob which you can use for changing the whatever from this station to this station. There is this knob which actually produces sound for you. That's all we have learnt so far. We have understood the gadgets a little bit. That's all we have done. So the operations manual has gone only up to that extent. Dasin has gone behind and said what is wired behind, we have not still come. Right? This is what it is. Now you can ask, sir, why do you say all these are not there, all these are not, what is the use of it? Now, to know what I am not is a great progress. Management बार ऐसा ही बोलता है, सभी क्षेत्रों में यही बोलता है. To know what I do not know is a big thing. There is a problem with a lot of people. They mess up everything. Minimum we should know is what I am not. That means इतना progress हो गया हमारा वो ये मार्ग में. इसलिए अति आवश्यक है. We should know what we are not. What we are बाद में हम सोचेंगे. We are mixing and messing up things. So in any leave out Vedanta, in any knowledge, the first superior knowledge is to know what it is not. बाकी सब बाद में हम देखेंगे. इसलिए we should know what these are and we should know we are not that. Not from all these is not theoretical. We need to, इसी में बार बार हमने सोचना है, हमने स्वयं एक्सपेरिमेंट करना है, दृढ़ी करना है, इसमें हमका विश्वास उत्पादन करना है. Which means we need, these are not mere ideas. Ideas are only beginning. You have to reflect on it, think on it and come to your own conclusion and wire it, get it into your DNA. ये सब अंतर होना है, न केवल एक पुस्तक में, एक श्रवण शक्ति में, वो तो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट है. सो इसमें बार बार हमने वो सोचना है, थोड़ा और ओन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हमने करना है. देन थोड़ा स्पष्टता, little clarity will come. Anyway, this is very, very important. It is a great progress that we can make. Now, The point is, what is the basis on which you can dismiss things? He's now dismissed things. We can't just nod our head and take it. If you know the methodology of how to dismiss things, we can use it in our many things also. So I will spend a little time on that. What is the methodology to get clarity? Dismiss matlab kya hai? I am developing more clarity. By saying it is not this, we are only developing more clarity, na? So इसलिए ये मेथोडोलॉजी बहुत आवश्यक है हमारे जीवन में, हमारा उद्योग क्षेत्र में, हमारा फैमिली वगैरह, wherever we can use this methodology because our rishis have thought about these methodologies. Vidyaranya Swami himself brings that towards the end, but I am going to jump and introduce it now, which we will again see later as we go along. Anyway, this is where we stopped. Kadachitkatvatah na atma syat Anandamaya api ayam. The api is to attach Anandamaya to all the four previous layers also. Put this fellow along with that. That's why the api is coming. This fellow is also not the Atman. So the api is to say, take this fellow and put it on the other list. It doesn't belong to me. That's why the api is coming. Bimba bhutaha yaha anandaha atmaha asau sarvada stitehe. Right? Now, how did he used a few methodology. इतना स्पष्ट हुआ या नहीं पता नहीं. So that's why I will bring that. What basis he is actually saying this is not Atman. This is not Atman. Okay. There are some methodologies and Vedanta क्षेत्र में इसका उपयोग है. अन्य क्षेत्र भी ऐसे उपयोग हमने कर्तुम अवकाश है. We can even use this idea elsewhere also. So let me just... So essentially he is talking about Nitya Anitya Vastu Vichara. What is permanent and what is temporary. See, you office में एक decision ले लो. You should know what is permanent and what is perishable. Quality of decision will improve. People actually mess up these two. You should develop a good clarity of what is permanent and what is perishable. Certain things are perishable. Certain things are permanent. Oh, should I fire these 3 employees? Should I fire 10 employees? You should have a framework of permanent and perishable. Sometimes it is very useful to fire 10 employees. It will only make this organization even stronger, long withstanding. You will employ 100 employees 5 years from now. If you don't fire them thinking, oh, nice people, we should be, you will also perish in the process. So a permanent, non-permanent, oh, सोचना है, बहुत सोचना है, बार-बार अस्मा भी सोचना है. So, he's talking about permanent. Anyway, in this context, Annamaya is different from Annam. Pranamaya is, so is the case with Pranamaya is different from Prana. Manomaya, they are all Vikara. I told you, I am only summarizing that. Okay? The Mayat Pratyaya in Sanskrit is used for Vikarartha. It has modified. As I told you, food is taken, carrots and vegetables are taken and converted into something. That is Annamaya. It's not anymore Annam. So Annamaya is different from Annam because Vikara. Similarly, the carbon dioxide and oxygen are taken and it is converted into a certain prana. So like that. So Vikarartha. The Ananda is not the original fellow. It is just a reflection. Okay. So there are 12 ways we can identify what is permanent and what is perishable. You can use some yardstick. If you use all these, if you ask this question in any problem, in any context, here whether we are taken Atma as the basis, you can take something and ask. For example, you can ask, is it Stula or Sukshma? Anything which is Stula will perish. Stulartha will perish. Sukshmartha will remain. Stula to bahut sada sida hai, temporary hai. So anything gross will be actually not permanent. Anything subtle likely to be permanent. So Stula versus Sukshma. That's the first question you can ask. Stula means on the surface. We are just seeing. Superficial bolta hai na. Anything superficial matlab grass. तत्पदार्थस्य हमने नहीं पहुंचा, उसी तक नहीं पहुंचा. If you go there, it becomes subtle. So one yardstick to use is the problem that I am facing, the issue that I am handling, the issue I am studying. am I studying at understanding at a gross level, or I have gone some deeper? थोड़ा हम अंदर जाएंगे तो दृढ़ता ज्यादा होगा. It becomes a little more firm. So that is the first one. Is what is possessed? ये आपका है और आप है, दोनों का डिफरेंस है. Is it मेरा or मैं? Is it me or mine? Anything that is not you will perish. That is why your ego will perish, your relationship will perish, right? Your money and assets can potentially perish, the body will perish, the context will perish, the organization will perish. Today science says 7 years later not a single cell in these 7 billion cells are the same. That has also perished. Body has completely remanufactured everything. So anything which is not yours will perish. Anything that is you, not yours now, you, anything that is you will not perish, anything that is yours will actually perish. So this is another yardstick which we can use. थोड़ा हम उसमें सोच कर सकते हैं हम. So that is the second thing. It is an aggregate or made up of parts. Moment you say it is made up of parts, तो बदलने का opportunity है. Pura, you should be able to see whole. You should not start seeing pieces. If you start seeing pieces, conflict हो जाएगा एक को दूसरों का. So it should not be in parts. It must be aggregate, pura, sampurna padartha. That has a greater chance of staying for a longer time. If you break and see small little portions, ये तो विरुद्ध भाव होगा. So it may also, right? It is compacted of gunas. If something is made of gunas, that will perish. What will not perish is gunatita, beyond the sway of the three gunas. Anything which is subjected to the three gunas has a possibility to keep changing and then morphing, वो सब होगा. आत्मा अनात्मा विषय बहुत उपयोग है ये dimension. Anything which is guna sahita will be temporary. That's why today morning I will be happy, today evening I may not be. Sattva is little too much today morning, tamas is too much in the night, so I will go to sleep and I am completely ignorant. Kuch nahi, main pata nahi chala. Something like that. Okay? It is impure or pure. Anything which is permanent will be pure. Anything which is not permanent will have impurity. That is one index. The more impurity in something, it will perish. It's only a matter of time. So pure or impure. Is it produced or it is the producer? Karya or karana? दो चीज है इधर. Gold is karana, not karya. Gold is karana. The world of objects are karyas. Golden necklace, golden ring, golden stud, gold, whatever. 1,000 things you can do. The world of terracotta objects are all karya. The karana is clay. Why? Because karya will be always temporary. And when they perish, they return back to karana. That's why this deha is only a karya. Karana is virat. Annat purushaha jatan annena vardante adyate chita bhutani. It will go back. Because deha is only a karya, not karana. The karya is a virat. At that level, you can say virat is a karya, Brahman is a karana. That will also go. Pralaya, that will also go, and then it will go to the next level. There are different levels you can analyze. Structure is same. Logic cannot be anything different. The world of wooden objects are karya. Wood is the karana. You can pull every thread out of this cloth. Shirt will collapse, cotton will remain. Because cotton is the karana. You will get a bundle of cotton. Shirt will not exist anymore. So katam. So we should always understand anything which has a karana swarupa is permanent. Anything which has a karya swarupa must perish. You can elongate it, make it longer, shorter, वो सब कर सकते हैं. It cannot escape this rule. So we can ask what we are thinking about, is it karya or karana? At every level we can think about it. Right? Then you can ask, is this something which exists in all the three periods? All the three periods matlab bhutak kale, vartamana kale, bhavishyat kale. Nothing that you consider valuable exists in all the three. Your education doesn't exist, your relationship don't exist, your companies. For the interesting thing, I met a very powerful IAS officer. He was a very powerful IAS officer. I met him. He said, sir, all my ego is all gone. I am a president of a temple committee now. Utani hai. There is a time everything will go. It doesn't exist in all the three periods. Ahankar to idhar udhar hota hai. And they will all go. But something may be behind that, something may be actually there. So if something, so it is called sustainability. Na? In modern parlance, that's the word they use for sustain in a limited sense. Sustainable means which remains for a longer time. So quality of our decisions must be such that there must be some amount of existing in today, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Quality must be like that, otherwise it is not permanent, it is all perishable. Anything which is limited by space, time and objects will be limited. Kya udaharan hai? This, you know what is this place called? We call it a seminar hall, or whatever you call it, meeting room, seminar hall, kuch bolo. This is nothing but space. It is limited by something. When you limit the space with something, you suddenly start give a nama to the nama rupa, nama and rupa. You are given a rupa, and therefore you go there. You say it is a dining room. Moment you limit anything with time and space, that fellow will perish. One day this building will fall, have to fall. This will not remain because Shad Vikara will happen. Right? We talked about it, na? So anything you try to limit, it will have to fall. It's only a matter of time. Anything, if you are able to reduce the limitations that you have, it is likely to be permanent. This is space. The moment you destroy all the walls, it returns to its natural state. This is only a karya. Space is the karana. This is specific karya. That is what is really happening here, right? And dependent, if something is dependent, that is temporary. If something is not dependent, it is permanent. I just put some rules to say, some of these rules are very interesting rules. And all of these, if you apply to the Pancakosha, you will actually tick all the Pancakosha away. Because you will find they will not be permanent. Panchakoshas will just go away. That is what he did. What Vidyaranya did was exactly that. He said it is not there yesterday, it was not there today. Ananda is there all the time, but this is only Ananda Bimba. It will go. He used these kinds of methodologies. Now I will strengthen this methodology from a Vedanta perspective. I gave a general thing. In our methodology, they have beautifully come up with some methods to even do this properly. So there are a few things they do. One is called Tatastha Lakshana. Again, these are very nice concepts. I wish we teach all these in management schools also. Suppose you want to reach a place. You are sitting here. You want to go to a house. You came to me. Sir, can you tell me where is that house? From here I cannot show you the house. तो बहुत मुश्किल है. तो थोड़ा दूर में है. इसलिए बहुत मुश्किल होगा. But you are asking me, sir, show me the house. That's the problem we are going through. We don't know what is Atman, but somehow we want to know. You know what I will say? You see, there is a lake there. Yeah, there is a lake there. You see, there is one coconut tree. Yes. Just go behind it. There is a house. That is the house you are looking at. Now, what have I done? I told nothing about the house. I told nothing about the house. I never gave you the address. Nothing, street name, nothing I told. I used the Tataka. Tataka is a lake. Sta means Stala. So I use a position of a lake and pointed to you something which is otherwise difficult to explain to you. Now you will get it because you will go near the lake. You look for the coconut tree and more or less you are on the house. You have gone at least striking distance from the house. Right? Because Google Map also, be careful. Sometimes it takes you into the lake also. Therefore, Google Map को भी problem है. GPS तो ठीक है, फिर भी कभी-कभी problem हो जाता है. Whereas Tatastha Lakshana is foolproof. For example, you will say, oh, who is this person? Can you tell me? Oh, you see, there is one person wearing a blue color shirt and a specs. So you never told anything about the person, you told something else. Yet you pointed to the person. Right? Yeah, who is Chandrubhaya? Look at, there is some person has a nice, beautiful black kurta. He is Chandrubhaya. So we'll look around and say there is one person with a nice black kurta, and then, so we never told anything about Chandrubhaya, but we still told. This is one method. Complex things you cannot explain, but you can explain it with some closer attributes, so that once you go close, you will find out. In management also we can do it. You don't have to, dima kharab hota hai if you do too much of it, but you can give a tatastha. Ye sab kar do yaar, utni hai. Once they go close, they don't ask you, they know what is to be done. It's a beautiful communication. So in our paddhati, we use that. We use tatastha very nicely. Okay? Because nihitam guhayam, how do you go? Why did this Pancakosha came? Because nihitam guhayam means you don't know what to do. At least you show 5 layers and say, go, open, slowly, go, inside, you'll go. That is what we are attempting actually. Tatastha Lakshana. Instead of showing the Atman, show something closer to it. Oh, go here, there is one Annamaya, go and see. After some time, you'll find it is not. In third chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad, beautifully, father and son, there is a conversation. Brihirvaiva runihi varunam pitaram upasasara adihi bhagavo brahmeti. Bhrigu went to his father, Varuna, and said, sir, please tell me, father, tell me what is Brahman. What is all this? Brahman and all, you can't say. He did Tatastha Lakshana. What did he do? Adihi bhagavo brahmeti tagumho vacha. He told him, tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva. Do tapas, you will know Brahman. I mean, it's the lousiest instruction you can get. So this person went, and he also gave him a clue. Annam brahmeti vyajanat. Understand annam to be Brahman. So he went. Annam brahmeti vyajanat annadyeva kalvimani bhutani jayante annena jatani jivanti annam prayantya visham vishanti tad vijijñāsasva. He gave some clues. Hey, all human beings come out of food here. They also grow because of food. So food is Brahman. So he went and then he did tapas. He simply did not say tapas, he gave a clue. So he gave a tatastha. So he brought him nearly closer now to 5 layers now. Instead of looking all over the world and wasting our time. Annam brahmeti vyajanat. He went and did all that, nothing came. He again came back to his father. Adihi bhagavo brahmeti. Second time he asked. Tagumho vacha. Pranam brahmeti vyajanat. Pranadyeva kalvimani bhutani jayante. Pranena jatani jivanti. All he said again. So this fellow went again. Bhrigu went again. 5 times is Anandam brahmeti vyajanat. Anandadyeva kalvimani bhutani jayante. Anandena jatani jivanti. All that he said. This is called Tatastha Lakshana. Slowly you take him one step at a time, he will find out. He will not come back to you. Oh, okay. Looks like, but it is not. Virochana agreed a body to be Brahman, but Indra never agreed. But at least he went that far, and then he used the Atma Anatma Vichara. Oh, this doesn't exist in 3 states, it will be shrinking, etc., etc. So this cannot be Brahman. Indra did it. Virochana did not do it. I showed you on day 1, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So that is one method. Then there is a second method called Netivada. This is very beautiful. In complex maintenance management, they do it. It's called troubleshooting. If you have a complex problem, you know what to do, you should do? You should not find the problem. You should eliminate what it is not. That is how aircraft maintenance is done like that. You should have a very efficient, foolproof troubleshooting mechanism. Tree. You have to cut the tree branches and come down. वही बहुत important है. That is called Netivada. You should say this fellow is not there. All items related to that, throw it into the dustbin. बाकी सब हम देखेंगे. ये भी नहीं है, वो सब छोड़ दो. This is how complex things can be understood only like that. Even in management, if you want to understand complex things, don't waste your time trying to find out what it is. Remove it. Take out things. The more and more you take out things, the chances of you finding is very high. We did exactly for the projector the other day. It was not working. So we tried changing the port. In fact, you give what is called AMC for your computer. That fellow does exactly like that. He knows nothing. He first tries some other plug point. If it is working, then plug is not a problem. Then he opens the laptop 3 times and closes. It seems to work. Then he says there is no problem with the switch. This is how he also does. Exactly that is what we did here. So that is called Netivada. This is very, very useful. Na iti, na iti. Neti means na iti, na iti. This is not, this is not, this is not. Atman is a complex subject at one level here. It's not complex, but it appears complex. Therefore, you have to find simple. Let's say you have a silk saree. Or Mysore silk. Mysore silk today is 100,000 rupees here. You don't even get it. You have to wait. Bangalore, I went once. They say Saturday morning, 7 o'clock you come in the queue. 9 o'clock the shop opens. Before 10:30 everything is sold. That level is going Mysore silk actually. One saree 80,000 rupees. Suppose you have Mysore silk saree which you have put it here and there is some complex thorn and everything there. You know the vastu, but you can't reach the vastu that easily. Vastu to हमको मालूम है, आत्मन हमको मालूम है, टेक्स्ट बुक मटेरियल है, हमको अहम ब्रह्मास्मि वो सब मालूम. वो प्रॉब्लम उधर नहीं है. कैसा उधर जाने का है? How do I reach there? So peel one at a time. Thoda. That saree is there, I know. A lot of thorns. First remove all the thorns. Then you find there is something. Remove all that. Then slowly you go there. Right? So that is what it is, that Nityavada. Then Atma Anatma Vichara. Another method is use logic. Oh, this cannot be Atman. That is what Indra did. Virochana Indra difference was that. When Virochana and Indra were taken to the sheet of lake and showed, this is who am I, he asked, this is what you are, Virochana simply went. Whereas Indra brought logic. He said, no, it cannot be. It doesn't exist in all the 3 times. It falls one day. Ye hai, ye nahi hai. That's the one Vidyaranya also used in the last 5, 6, 7 shlokas. Used Atma, Anatma, Vichara and said, chhod do, ye nahi hoga. Aur kuch hai. This cannot be what I am looking for. Right? So these are nice methodologies. Vedante upayogam kartum shaknumah. In our workplace, in our family decisions, many places we can actually use all these nice methodologies. They're all good methodologies which our rishis have developed. Anyway. Okay. Now we'll move on to the second section. So what has happened now? We have thrown all the 5 layers saying that that is not what I am. That's what we have done. These 5 are not there. Then our friend comes. Friend comes and challenges now. It's called, Puropaksha. Vidyaranya does the Puropaksha. And let us see what he is going to ask now and then how he answers it, let us see. Nanu dehamupakramya nidranandanta vastushu ma budatmatvamanyastu na kaschid anubhuyate. Is it not? Nanu means is it not? To say it in Sanskrit, we say Nanu. Is it not? We say no. Nanu. Deham upakramya nidra ananda antavastushu. Starting from the deha up to the ananda. Right? Up to that, ma bhut. He said the Atma is not there. Mahbut. It is not there. The Atma is not there in these 5. You started from Annamaya Kosha, which is the body. From there you went up to Anandamaya and you threw all of them out. I agree with you. Maybe your logic appears to be fine with me. I am willing to agree. Okay, I will take what you say. There is no Atman in all the five. Ma Bhut Atmatvam, that Atmatva is not there. That is what you told. Okay. Now the question is, Vastu na kaschit anubhuyate. Yeah, you have thrown everything here. There is nothing else now. So khatam, pura ho gaya. You have thrown everything out. At least I could lay my hands on something. There was this body, at least I could say I was the body. You pulled it out. Then I thought, oh, prana is me, because as I am alive, prana is there. You said some logic and threw it out also. So if you take out all that, there is nothing, na? So he says, what are you talking? You are blabbering. You are taking me to emptiness. See, this is called this logic of onion. What have we done? We have peeled layers. If you keep on layer after layer, if you peel onion, you end up with nothing. So one of my friends said, Mahadevan, culture is like onion. The more you peel, finally you end up with nothing. We are peeling our culture one layer after another. हमारा संस्कृति है ना, उसका हम छोड़ करता चल रहे हैं हम. It is like removing one layer of onion. Onion has become thinner. You remove another layer of onion, इसी से छोटा होगा. और एक layer आप हटा दो. Where will you end? Nothing. There is nothing there. Everything is thrown into the dustbin now. He says, you have brought me like that. What is all this argument you are making? I thought of something, you removed everything. So he says, na kaschit anubhuyate. At least all these I can experience here. I am able to experience Ananda. I am able to experience the great thought I exercise in executing things in the world. That is my Vijnanamaya. ये सब हमारा अनुभूति पदार्थ है, संबंधिन विषयाः. Anandamaya is also, I am able to experience, no? I am feeling happy. Feeling, because I know I really put a lot of thought and etc. and then I did something, so I have experience. Manomaya I am experiencing, all the time experiencing my mind, right? Pranamaya definitely I am experiencing. I am able to see that when there is a breathlessness, I immediately go to the doctor and sort it out because my pranamaya is challenged now. Of course, Annamaya I am anyway experiencing. I am standing 1 hour every day in front of the mirror anyway. So I know my Anandamaya very well. So all the five are Anubhuti Patartha. You have now taken everything out. There is nothing to experience. Ho gaya, khatam. And you are foolishly taking me to a path in which I cannot experience anything, and you are now telling you are going to show me. Is it Mayajal? What are you going to do? कुछ नहीं है इधर. अनुभूति पदार्थाः सर्वाः नष्टाः. सब नष्ट हो गया है. मैं क्या करूंगा अभी? This is a counter question. After, so which means this fellow first agrees. Your logic seems to be fine. I am willing to agree. But having agreed, I have now gotten into a new problem. The new problem is, since you told I throw everything out, now the onion is empty, I don't find anything there. What do I do? I don't find it any interesting. Right? So that is what the question now. Vidyatirtha himself puts the question. See, Shankaracharya's greatness, nobody on the world has done it. Shankaracharya will establish one sentence. And then he will say, you may not know how to challenge the question, I will tell you how to challenge the question also. He will give 10 different questions. You should read some of his bhashyas. They're fantastic. He will establish an idea. He will give 10 different questions to challenge it. He will only generate the question. He will destroy all the questions. He will give a logic to say why all these questions are all nonsense. See, in US SEC filing, quite a few businessmen are there. That's why I'm bringing a lot of business ideas also. In SEC filing, I mean, stock market mein, US stock market mein, there is one form 12. Every year you have to file. I used to read these big companies because I will bring it to my classroom to discuss. There is something interesting which Indians don't do. I don't know whether they do or not. Maybe some have started. When they submit their annual performance report, they will identify 100 reasons why the company will fail. Oh, listing may high. Oh, Amazon will say inventory will not move. My technology will change. ये होगा, वो होगा. प्रत्येक प्रश्न का उत्तर भी देता है. It is part of their SEC filing listing. What is the value of it? You are actually doing Shankaracharya job now. You are doing the Purva Paksha now. Before that eventuality happens, you have already thought about it. And uska samadhanam bhi de diya. Ye sampradaya Shankaracharya Bhagavan ne kiya for 1500 years back. None of our people understood that. Those fellows are using it. They will write inventory this will happen. My competitors will do something. My suppliers will fail me. Aisa karke, you will go and read. You will find these guys have thought about all adversaries and uska samadhan api soch kiya. That is how our rishis do. That's how our acharyas do. They will say something. They will put a counter question. They will give a samadhan. So now one counter question he has put. वो सब करता है. ये तो रिस्क मैनेजमेंट है. वो क्या क्या रिस्क है वो चीज पूरा वो लिखना है. उसका समाधान भी अस्मा भी सोचना है. Which means we'll be ready now. Not that all that are going to happen. At least we are ready. So like that he has asked, if I agree what you say, I am in trouble now. By simply agreeing what you say, I have gotten myself into trouble because I have nothing to experience. Ma na kinchit anubhu na kinchit vastu na kaschit vastu anubhuyate. The vastu is on the previous third part, it is there. Anyat vastu. Anyahatu. Anyastu. Anyahatu. There is nothing else to experience. You have brought me to a dead end. This is where Shankaracharya had a great fight with Buddhists. Buddhists are very comfortable with this idea. In Buddha it is called Shunya Tattva. Shunyatva. Shunyavada. They talk about ultimate state to reach is Shunya. Shankaracharya said logically flawed. Big arguments are there. Beautiful arguments are there. He is totally flawed. Shankaracharya said logically he destroyed. He said this is not a... While where you have reached is correct, the way you articulate has a lot of problems. It's at another level. Because that is where we have reached now. We have reached a level of Shunyatva. That's what the question is. There is nothing. So let us see what Vidyaranya is going to do. Let's see how he is going to handle this particular problem. Badam nidradaya sarve anubhuyante na chetaraha tatapyete nubhuyante yena tam nivarayet. Badam nitradayah sarve anubhuyante na cha itarah. Clearly he agreed with him. Na cha itarah, na cha itarah. Okay. Tata api, the second line. Tata api yete anubhuyante yena tamko nivarayet. So he brings a logic now. Vidyaranya says, okay, I will solve your problem. He says, first of all, he said, I 100% agree with you. There is no disagreement in what you have said. What is that? Nidradayah. The Nidra here points to the Anandamaya. In Ananda we said in Nidra we get Ananda, no? So that's why he uses the word Nidradaya. Adayah. Adayah means starting from Anandamaya up to Annamaya, reverse pass. Okay. Badam. True, agreed. What is agreed? Nidradayah sarve anubhuyante. All these are matter of experience. 100% I agree with you. I am not going to waste your time talking wrong things. वो तो लॉजिक है. लॉजिक तो बहुत बढ़िया है. उसी में दूसरा विवाद का आवश्यक नहीं है. So I agree. Badam. That's why he said badam. Nidradayah sarve anubhuyante. Nacha itaraha. There is nothing else that I am experiencing. I also agree with that. That is your concern. I also am standing on the same platform where you are standing. मैं दूसरा जगह से मैं नहीं देखूंगा, उसी दृष्टि से मैं देखूंगा. I am not going to take you to some weird place, throw some jargon in you and then confuse you. ऐसा नहीं है. मैं संपूर्ण अंगीकरण कर दूंगा. What you say is true. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, these are the only things that we can experience in this here, in this mortal coil. Nacha itaraha, nothing else we will experience. That is okay. Now he is asking another question. Tathapi, even then, while I agree with that statement, Tathapi, you said experience, na? Which I also agree. Yete anubhuyante, all these are experience. Who is the experiencer here? Please tell me. You said you experienced all this. Can you experience without experiencer? That's the question he is asking. Can you experience anything without an experiencer? Nahi hoga. That's why he says, okay, yena ete anubhuyante, in the second line, that is what you have to do, anvaya. Yena, using that, or by whom? Koi hai, jo admi hai na. Yena ete api anubhuyante, tam ko nivarante. Are you going to throw him out of the equation? How can you throw him out of the equation? Because without him you are not experiencing. You may not know who he is. लेकिन आपका अनुभव है, ये सब अनुभव पदार्थ है. कौन अनुभव करता है? Who is the one who is experiencing? Why are you not worried about it? You are only thinking there is nothing more. I will come to that part later. First he divides the problem into two parts. He is not coming into the shunya yet. He will come later. Now he is saying, you said you experience all this, and you also agreed all these are not me. There must be somebody. You can't take him out of the equation. If you take him out of the equation, it is logically wrong. You are talking nonsense. You are not talking logic. You are talking totally illogic. पूरा युक्ति युक्त नहीं है. इसलिए येन एते अनुभूयन्ते तम कह निवारयेत. Who is going to replace him? Please tell me. निवारण means तो छोड़ दो, अलग कर दो. Who is going to replace him? If you cannot replace him, we had no worry about who is. We had to search this fellow now. You can't replace him, because if you replace him, no anubhava. The very fact that there is anubhava means somebody is seeing. This is exactly what happens in deep sleep. Ye hua in Sushupti mein. That's what that prince told that Swami Ramatirtha, and the first day we saw that. He said, Swamiji, I was there in the deep sleep. Swamiji said, just now you said you slept. How come you said next day morning you got up and said, I had a good sleep? The Swamiji asked, how did you have a good sleep? No, I was there. What do you mean here? You said you were switched off and you are now saying you are there also. Kya ho raha hai idhar? So in the same way, if you are experiencing, you will now better find where is the experiencer. This is the first point. So now we have moved one delta. Thoda आगे हमने गया था. What is that? That we can throw all the koshas, but our search for a person cannot be thrown because we have the experience. Very fact, we got into a trap. We said, I experienced all that. Moment you said that, I will catch the experiencer. I will shift my direction towards the experiencer. Ramana Maharishi का पूरा teachings ऐसा ही है. He will, any questions he asks, so he say, Bhagavan, I have a doubt. Bhagavan will not do that, will not clarify the doubt. He'll say, find out who is the doubter. Go and find out who is the doubter. Many things he gives answers like that. Nobody, then you have to go back and really start thinking what is going on here. He says, go to the source. Go and find out your source. किधर है? आपका source किधर है? सोचो. Go and see. So in the same way, he says, go and find the experiencer. Wait. Throw all the this thing. But since you agreed for the experience, I am catching you on that. Get me the experiencer first. If you say no experiencer, then you are lying. All your experience is a lie now. Ab jhoot bol rahe hai. So he brought him one level now. So this fellow is now going to listen and get curious to find out where is this fellow. Because this is logical, it is not illogical. He is asking only a logical question. So let us see how he is taking us little forward. Delta करके आगे हम चल रहे हैं. That's what Vidyaranya Swami does. He takes only a delta at a time and builds logic one step at a time. ऐसा ही चलता है एक चैप्टर. स्वयमेवानुभूतित्वात् विद्यतेनानुभाव्यता ज्ञातृ ज्ञानान्तराभावात् अज्ञेयो न त्वसत्तया. So the sandhi we have to be careful. There is an agneya. I will do a sandhi vicheda. Then in many of the Sanskrit shlokas, if you know how to break it, almost you got what it is. The problem is only to sort of break it so that you know what is being conveyed there. So he says, Swayam eva anubhutitvat vidyate na anubhavyata. Okay? Jnatra jnana antarabhavat agneyo na tu asattaya. So he now brings another important idea. Okay? He says, this fellow you are looking for someone, na? The fellow that you are looking for is inherently, he has an inherent capability to know. Swayameva anubhutitvat vidyate. He has an inherent property. Na anubhavyata. You don't have to know him through some methodology called experience. He experiencing is his nature. इसका अनुभव इसके स्वभावता है. Okay? Now, what is this? Again, we need to understand this. Sir, what you have a lamp in this room. Let us say you have put a lamp. A lamp है ना इधर. Let's say it is dark. There is a lamp. How will you get to know the lamp? What? No. You need a source of light. You need a source of light to know the lamp. Lamp itself is the source of light. You don't need another source of light. This lamp is Swayam Jyoti. You don't need another Jyoti to find out. Hai na? Because its nature is to throw light. So its nature is to know. Because that's its inherent property. So you don't have to bring another lamp now to see whether this lamp exists or not. When it is a glowing lamp, you don't need another lamp to find out whether this lamp is there. So this lamp need not be subjected to the process of knowing using some light because it itself is light. See, look at this room is dark. I don't know, I kept my pen here. एक उदाहरण हम ले लेंगे. पिच डार्क है, राइट? मेरा पेन था, बुक था और मैं सेल फोन भी था. मैं ये छोड़ के गया. Now, if I want to know where is the cell phone, where is the notebook, where is that pen, I will have to bring a source of light. So I will bring a torch, I may bring a lamp, right? After bringing the lamp inside, if somebody asks, please tell me where is the lamp, how to find out, because I am not throwing light onto the lamp. I threw light on cell phone, I found the cell phone. How do you find? Light is being passed. Hai na? When light is passed, our eye starts catching it. Oh, here is a cell phone. I go and collect it. Then the lamp लेके ऐसा मैं चल रहा हूँ, इधर एक पेन है, ये मेरा पेन है. Okay? The light passes into it, so I pick up the pen. Now I am using the same methodology now. I am now going to ask you, tell me how to find the lamp. What is the source of light you are going to pass on the lamp so that I see the lamp? It's a foolish question. ये स्वयं ज्योति है, इसका दूसरा ज्योति का आवश्यक नहीं है. ये स्वयं भाव है. Its own nature is to throw light. Its very nature is to throw light. So why do you want another source of light here? Its nature is to throw light. So इस संबंध में हमको लाइट का आवश्यक नहीं है. बाकी वस्तु को आवश्यक है, इसको ना आवश्यक है. बाकी सबको लाइट का आवश्यक होगा, क्योंकि मैं पता नहीं. I need some light, only then I will find out. इसका ऐसा नहीं है. That is the kind of example he is giving. That is the message he is giving here. He is saying, Swayameva Anubhuti. Experience is its inherent nature. That vastu that we are looking after, its nature is Swayambhuti. Swayambhuti. Its very nature is to find find experience. So you don't need another method of finding it. Swayameva Anubhutitvat Vidyate. It is known because its very nature is to know. So you don't need another methodology to know it. Just like you don't need another light to know this light. Na anubhavyata. It need not be subjected to this strain process of knowing. You have to bring your annamaya, your pranamaya, you have to bring your indriya, etc., to actually know this vastu. Because the vastu is by nature a business of knowing. Lagu udaharan detunga. If you are finding it difficult, I will give you a simple example which will clarify. Let's say we are all sitting, 30, 40 people are here. Assuming this is night time. Just सोचिए, रात को समय है, पूरा करंट हो गया, switch off, power cut, and absolutely pitch dark. How do I know I am there or not? Do I need a light to know whether I am there or not? I am Swayambhuti. I don't need a light to know whether I am there or not. It is my nature. But I don't know whether you are there or not. To find out whether you are there, I need actually a light. I have to put a torch, and because how many of you have slipped out of the class? I'll have to find out of 30 how many are sitting, how many have gone away. Thank God there is a power cut. This fellow is just eating our head. Let us go away. Huh? So to know whether you are there, I need a light. Do you need a light to know whether I am there? No, I don't even have to touch and see me. Should I? I don't have to. Whereas I can put my hand and touch, oh, he is sitting here, Karthik is sitting here, I am able to see. I don't have to touch myself, oh, I am there. If I do it, there is a problem. I will have to find out what is going on. That is what the shloka is saying. The shloka is saying, the vastu that you are going after, its nature is Swayam Anubhuti. So don't try to strain your eye and ears and your koshas and throw all that into it and look for it. You will be a failure. Don't do it. So we have to use some other logic to figure it out. This is going to do all that. So first of all, so what is he establishing in this shloka? He is saying don't look for something physical. You got it wrong. Don't look for anything. That means you got it totally wrong. When the room is pitch dark, don't look for a light to see whether I am there or not. That logic is flawed. I know I am there. मैं हूं इधर. दूसरा का तो अलग चीज है. I don't need a light to find out whether I am there. Don't do that. Because you know that. That's what he is saying in the first line. Na anubhavyata. It is not subjected to this plane of experience. You have to experience and come to a conclusion. It is there. Not required. By nature it will know. It will know by nature. Then he says, Jnatra jnana antara bhavat jneyaha. This knower, known, Knower, known, the process of knowing. It's a beautiful concept called Triputi. I'll come to it. These are all powerful frameworks. There is something called Triputi. Anything in the world can be analyzed with Triputi. It's a triangle. Triputi is 3. Okay? So let us take the knowledge business. Knowledge business need 3 things. First, you should need a knower. And you need a knowledge which you want to know. Right? You are looking after some knowledge, you know? That is the destination. A subject hai, wo object hai. Then there is a process. So it's called jnata, jnatru or jnata. Jnaya. Jnaya is what is known. Jnana is the process of knowing. Jnanam bolta hai na. वो process है. उसी process द्वारा हमको ज्ञेय मिलता है. This is called Triputi. So he says this knower, jnatru is knower. Jnanam is the process of knowing. He says the vastu that you are searching now, that fellow has all the 3. He is the knower, he is the process of knowing, and he is what is known. Weaved into one. That is the very nature. He is the knower, he is the process of knowing. That is why when light went off, I knew, suddenly I knew I am there. Because I am the knower, I am the known, and I know the process of knowing. Don't ask me how, but I know that I exist in this room. बाकी लोग का पता नहीं, मैं हूं इधर. All those we say antarbhavat. They are all inherently wired into this vastu. This vastu is capable of all that. Right? That is why it is agneyaha. It is not something which is not known, because everything is built in. It is 3 in 1 formula. सब इसका अंदर भूत हुआ है. Asattaya. So satta is not required. You don't need something physical to know this. It doesn't need any of those, because it is everything. That's the very nature of this vastu that we are going after. Okay? So this is the triangle. I use it in my management consulting also, this triangle. I call it as knowledge triangle. Okay? So anything in the world, let us talk about eating, for example. Eating also needs 3. Bhokta, the eater. Bhojyam, that what I am eating. Bhojanam, the process of eating. Bhojanam is what? It's the process of putting my hand, taking it and putting it into my mouth, and then grinding it with switching on my grinder and all that stuff. So Bhokta, Bhojyam, Bhojanam. Pramata, Prameya, Pramana. Pramana is the right means of knowledge. Pramata is the knower. Prameya is what is known. Anything in the world can be analyzed with these 3. Now how do you generalize it? You can generalize it as there is a subject. I is the subject. There is an object, something I want to know. That's called object. And there is a process of knowing. This can be applied anywhere. So it's called Triputi. There are 3 there. Pramata, Pramana and Pramaya. With that you get that Prama. It is in the domain of Prama. It is the domain of knowledge, you need all the 3. The domain of eating, you need all the 3. Right? Right? Vakta, Vakyam, Vachanam. Again you have 3. Vakta is the fellow who talks. Vakyam is what is being talked. Vachanam is the process of talking. Hindi में बोलते हैं, संस्कृत में बोलते हैं, अंग्रेज में बोलते हैं, कुछ भी होगा. That's a process of talking. Anything in the world can be analyzed with this. In Vedanta, there is a Mahatriputi. Do you know what is a Mahatriputi? Mahatriputi is Jiva Jagat Ishvara. Jiva is the subject. Ishvara is the object. Jagat is the process by which we will get to know it. We need this world to even become a jnani. It will give us experience. There is a path we go through to attain that. So Jiva Jagat Ishvara is the biggest Triputi you can think of. Mahatriputi. Jiva Jagat and Ishvara. The Jiva is the subject, the Ishvara is the object, and the Jagat is the vehicle through which you reach the So that way also we can think. So he is saying jnana, jnatra, antarabhavat, ajnaya. Everything is weaved into one, so you don't try to separate, you will waste your time. Don't take out the light from lamp and analyze it separately. Light and lamp are together, so you don't need any more source of light. Nahi avashyak hai, don't waste your time. सब अंतर्भाव हुआ है उधर. दीप से अंतर है वो बासा भी. The light is part of the lamp. इसलिए उसी में विभज करके वो देखने को मौका नहीं है. उसी मार्ग में हमको नहीं जाना है. वो गलत मार्ग है, गलत मार्ग है, ऐसा नहीं जाना है. So he says, first you give up this fixation. You are looking for something which you should not be looking at. You are wasting your time. How is this? This is another beautiful example. If you are looking for something which is not there, you are wasting your time. One fellow, what you did, he went and then he searched for a key, room key. There was a street lamp. Below the street lamp, he was searching for the room key. So yeah, one fellow was passing by. ये क्या हो रहा है? नहीं, मेरा चाबी तो नष्ट हुआ. मैं वो सोच रहा, I'm just searching for it. 7 o'clock night. 8:30 he came back. That fellow was still searching. Yeah, what is going on? He said, I am searching. So this fellow got very sympathetic to him. बहुत कष्ट में अनुभूत चल रहा है, हमको थोड़ा सुविधा करेंगे. So he said, I will also help you. Then he also started searching. After some time he asked, where did you lose the key? No, I left the key inside the room. Why are you searching here? There is light only here. There is no light there. Which is what we are doing. Because we don't have light somewhere, we go to a place where there is light and start searching for our Atman. Because we don't know there is a self-contained light inside. So it is like that. By searching in a place where it is not there, we are wasting our time. So stop this fixation first. Just like you look at, Madhuban Ashram, dining hall and X, Y and Z, you cannot look at your vastu. That methodology is wrong. Just keep away. Don't do that. Because that fellow is slightly different fellow. ऐसा नहीं करना का है. वो सब व्यर्थ होगा. So that is what actually he is. So he is establishing that idea to him. Okay. So let us see. Then he gives a beautiful example. I gave an example of lamp. Vidyaranya gives another beautiful example, which makes it even interesting for us. Let us see what he has to say. He says, Madhuryadi swabhavanam yatra swagunarpinam swasmin tadarpana peksha no nachastanya darpakam madhuryadi swabhavanam anyatra swaguna arpinam. Okay. Swasmin tat arpana apeksha na. Okay. Na cha asti anyat arpakam. Okay. He gives an example. He has said madhuryadi, which means he has said a world of things. We will take only madhurya for the moment. He said madhuryadi. You can extend the principle and example to anything. We will take only madhurya. Now I have a cup of coffee. I want to sweeten it. What will I do? I will add, depending upon how much. Some people own tea factory, they never add. Sugar factory, they don't add. They already own a sugar factory. Some people are still not there, so they'll put 2 spoons, 3 spoons, whatever. So if you want sweet, you add sugar. Correct? What happens when you add the sugar? This padartha called sugar, it transfers that madhurya into the milk. Wahi hota hai. That is what is happening. Actually speaking, that is what is happening. You added a spoon of sugar. Now this crystal like padartha or brown sugar, kuch bhi hoga. It is actually transferring the property of sweetness into that padartha. In the case of milk, it may be into milk. If it is a lemon juice, it will add sugar into the lemon juice. Kuch bhi hoga. And he says madhuryadi. So if you add salt, you can say the same example for a salt also. You can put a chili powder and say the same example for chili powder also. That's why he has used adi, etc. Madhuryadi subhavanam. What is the subhava of a sugar? Sweetness. Sweetness is the subhava. Shakkar ka subhav madhurya hai. Right? Subhavanam anyatra swaguna arpinam. Moment you added the crystal, sugar crystal, this fellow called sugar beautifully transferred its property into the swaguna arpinam. Its own property called sweetness was given to the milk. Finally we got a sweet milk. Why hua na? It just gave its inherent property is to be sweet. The inherent property of a chili powder is to be hot. The inherent property of a salt is to become salty. Moment you added it, that fellow said, let me offer my attribute to you. Swaguna arpinam. ठीक है, वो तो ठीक है. Simple. Now people are asking, hey, how do I get sugar? How do you get sweetness into sugar now? Please tell me. What should I add? This is a question now. What should I add to a sugar so that it becomes sweet? It is a foolish question, na? Hai na? So, swasmin tad arpana apeksha na. You don't have to take 2 spoons of sugar. Hey, I have to make it sweet. So let me add sweetness somehow onto it. And after I add sweetness onto it, okay, now sugar has become sweet. Why it is not required? Because the inherent nature of sugar is to be sweet. Swasmin tat arpana apeksha nasti. Because it is its nature. Why are you wasting your time? Its nature is to be sweet. Don't try to say, oh, I have 1 kilogram of sugar, I have somehow add sweetness on the top of it and make it sweet. ये तो गलत बात है. नहीं होगा. Right? So, swasmin tat arpana apeksha na. There is no need to take a tumbler of sugar and find out how to add sweetness to it. ये तो आवश्यक नहीं है, अपेक्षा नहीं है. Right? We can't disagree with this statement. Statement तो बहुत बढ़िया है, सादा सीधा है, हमारा अनुभव पात्र है. All rishis only use such example, they don't go elsewhere. So he says, okay, nacha tu anyat arpakam. So, because it has its own nature of sweetness, you don't have to bring some sweetness from some other padartha and load it onto this. एतस्य आवश्यकता नहीं है. Arpanam na avashyakam. You don't have to bring sweetness, bring 1 tumbler of sweetness and then put it onto the sugar crystal, keep it in sun, let it dry for 3-4 days. Some sugar has become sweet now. वो सब नहीं आवश्यक है, वो सब अनावश्यक. Right? Nacha tu anyat arpakam. Nacha asti. Nacha asti anyat arpanam. Ikara become. Yeah.
I think that's
Anyat arpakam. That is okay. That is okay. Na cha asti anyat arpakam. That is how it is. Na cha asti anyat arpakam. It's a sandhi. Sandhi mein itna thoda ho gaya. There is no need to somehow buy some sweetness from somewhere and add it on to sugar and be satisfied. Thank God, sugar will be sweet anymore. Henceforth, I am satisfied that sugar will be sweet. Nobody does it. Nobody does it because we know sugar is sweet. The saman hai. Sweet and sugar are the same. right? Salt and salty are same. Chili powder and hot are same. इसको अन्य पद्धत का आवश्यकता नहीं है, right? So he has given that example, okay? As to why, let us see why he is bringing that example. So what he is saying is, if something has some inherent nature, don't waste your time trying to bring that nature into it. Don't do it. If something has some inherent nature, don't try to bring that nature into it. ये सब व्यर्थ है, ये सब कार्य सर्व सर्व व्यर्थ होगा. सो हमारा वस्तु का स्वाभाविक तत्व हम देखेंगे अभी. Then we'll say if it is like this, don't waste your time. Huh? अर्पकान्तरराहित्ये अप्यस्त्येषां तत्स्वभावता मा भूत्तथानुभाव्यत्वम् बोधात्मा तु न हीयते. तरह राहित्यः अपि अस्ति येषां तत् स्वभावता. Rahita, rahitya means without. Rahita means without, na? Vihita, rahita. So rahitya means no need. So if something has an inherent nature, there is no need to impart it inside it. Arpaka antara rahitya. There is no need. It's rahita, without. It's not required. You don't have to add something to anything which has its own nature. Now from sugar he is generalizing the argument now. Anything which has inherent nature of something, don't waste your time adding that nature there. It's not required. Example aisa tha na? That's why arpaka antara rahitye api tesham tat swabhavata. Because it's its own nature, you don't have to add that nature into it. कर नहीं सकते हैं, वो सब व्यर्थ प्रयत्न है. You can't even do it. It is not required also. Right? That's what he is saying. Now he is bringing the vastu now. With all these examples, he is now bringing the vastu. Ma bhut tata anubhavyatvam bodatma tu nahiyate. Because this vastu has an inherent nature of experience, don't come and bring this experience business into it. Don't ask, I have to experience it. ऐसा नहीं करना है. इसका नेचर है, इसका स्वभाव है, इसका स्वभाव है, इसलिए इसका हमको कुछ अनुभूति भावना अस्माभिः तत् रखना है, ऐसा नहीं सोचो. What you do with the outside world, don't do it with this fellow, because that fellow doesn't need, you can't do it also. Just like you can't add sweetness to the sugar. You can't add the nature to anybody which has its nature. So, ma bhut. Okay? Tata anubhavyatvam. It will not lend itself to this whole business of let me be experienced through some external methods. Not required. Inherently, it already has it. Don't waste your time. Right? So he says, ma bhut tata, in the same way. Tata means in the same way as the example I gave you. Madhuryadi वगैरह वगैरह एग्जाम्पल मैंने दे दिया. परिस्थिति कैसा था उधर? तथा, in the same way, ma bhut bhavyatvam. This vastu will not subject itself to this whole experience business, because it is experience itself. Its nature is experience. Anubhavyatvam. Why? Bodhatma. This Atma is Swayam Bodha. The Atma is in the nature of knowing. That you say when the power went off, I knew I am there. This Atma requires absolutely no help, no support from anybody in the world, including God. It knows it. It is in the business of knowing things. So don't waste your time trying to put into the lens of how to know and all that. Now we have to approach from a different route now. इसी मार्ग में हम जाएंगे तो सब व्यर्थ हो जाएगा. Okay? बोधात्मा हु न हीयते. Because it is in the nature of knowing, knower, known, सब एक ही है. इसलिए ये पदार्थ का वो पद्धति उपयोग न करना है. Don't transfer the logic here. That logic is for those fellows. That which is other than you. Manomaya is other than you. Anandamaya is other than you. People sitting in this room are other than me. In all that I have to bring that logic. What is the methodology? How do I, what is the process? Vagera, vagera, all that. Anything other than me, I have to do it. Anything me, not about me, anything me, I don't need all this. Please understand that. You are hitting at a wrong target. ऐसा नहीं करना है. You have to, your target must be correct. Otherwise you will not get. Right? So he says that is not really possible. Huh? Bodhatma tu nahiyate means it doesn't make yourself non-available. It doesn't make itself non-available because you did all these. Hina means reduce, no? Huh?
Double negation.
Huh? Nahi, so nahiyate means it doesn't dissolve. Don't think if since you did not use this methodology, don't come to a conclusion it is not there. Because it is bodhatma. Nahiyate. Just you don't bring some methodology and come to a conclusion it is not there. So your shunyatva logic is flawed. First of all, you understand you are using what methodology you have to use somewhere, you are using it here. अन्य पदार्थ के लिए क्या क्या पद्धति है वो पद्धति उपयोग करके अस्मिन विषय चर्चा कर रहा है वो तो गलत है.
Don't assume sugar is not in sweet milk. Sugar is not there because you can't see it.
Something like that. Moment you give me, that's a good example. Moment you give me a cup of milk with sugar, which is sweet. You gave me a cup of milk which is sweet. It's foolish for me to say how is there sugar or not. Now you try to find out, they would have put sugar, but let me add some more sweetness. वही है. सो ये पदार्थ तो अन्वेषण का पदार्थ नहीं है, अनुभूति का पदार्थ है. स्वयं अनुभूति है. स्वयं अनुभूति विषय अस्माभिः we have to think. So this fellow, what did he say? He said, sir, you removed everything, I don't find anything. So he is using the traditional methodology of putting a telescope and seeing. That is what he is doing. No, he is putting a high resolution telescope. And then he saw you removing one layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, fifth layer. Nothing is there. So he came to a conclusion, there is nothing. What are you going to see? Then he says, you remove the telescope first. This cannot be seen with a telescope. So to chhod do. First you remove all that. You are going on a wrong road. You have to be on the right road to know the thing. Hai na? See, if you want to go to from here, okay, if you want to go to Chennai, don't go north, you have to go south. If you go north, you will never reach Chennai. Although world is round, after some time you may come to Chennai. That is a different story. But उचित मार्ग में आत्मा भी हमने जाना है ना. उचित मार्ग में जाना है, गलत मार्ग में नहीं जाना है. गलत पद्धति यदि हम यूज करेंगे वो सब गलत हो जाएगा. Right? So
There are two things here. One is we should not objectify things and find out. But also there's no absence. We should not say there's no absence. So two things are different here. Right? One thing is that we should not go out with no objectification. Another thing is, second point is There is no absence. Nobody is.
So
Absence of proof is not proof of
no, the absence part and all going to come. What she says is going to come. He says, don't use that logic, use some other logic. ऐसा होता है. Huh? Okay, with that we will come to, I think I have perfectly timed it. It's 1 hour 30 minutes exactly. We will stop here. This section concludes by saying it is absolutely waste to say there is nothing. That's a wrong methodology by which you are finding for yourself. That much we have gone now. We have thrown the layers. We have said I am very comfortable with seeing nothingness there. Now I have to find a meaning for nothingness, which we will do as we go along. That's the next argument he is going to do, which we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate